In the ART system, there's digital oscillators and analog oscillators. Analog oscillators can drift from time to time. Their pitch can move with temperature or with the change in the power rails of your modular system. And for that, there's some methods to compensate for those pitch changes. So let's look at that. So in the ART system, we got two types of tuning. The first is called initial tuning, and the second is called auto tuning. Initial tuning is the first tuning procedure that we do when we get an ART oscillator, for example, like the ATX1, an analog oscillator. We put it into our case. In this case, I put 3 of them. And we let the case warm up for about 30 to 40 minutes. We want the temperature inside the case to reach its typical working temperature. And we want the modules to reach their own internal stabilized temperature. And once we got that done, we're going to take the ART out of Octopus, going into the ART in of the oscillator. Now in this case, I'm actually going to do it to all 3 oscillators in one time. So I'm just going to use stack cables and just going to go from one to the other. Okay. Once I'm ready, I'm actually going to plug audio so you can have a listen to how that's going to sound. So this is just the tone of this oscillator. Holding down the auto tune button for a while will initiate the initial tuning procedure. So let's do that. Hold the button down. It says tune now, and you can see that the lights have turned yellow, and that means the oscillators are now starting initial tuning. Initial tuning can take some time. In this case, these oscillators had already been calibrated several times, so they are quite quick, but this can take up to several minutes, so don't be alert if that happens. And we are finished initial tuning. Now our oscillators are tuned, we are ready to play them, and everything is nice and well. However, over time, if the temperature changes in your room, the air condition, for whatever reason, and you feel that you want to tune the oscillator that might drift a little bit, you can always do what we call the auto tune. Auto tune is much simpler. It just tune for a specific temperature that your case and the oscillators are set to at that time. So to do auto tune, there's 2 options: either to hold down the button on the ATX1. Okay, let's try do that right now. Let's do it here. I'm going to hold down, and you can see that it's now doing auto tune, and the light is red, as you see, not yellow like initial tuning. That's the difference. In the same manner, we can go and do auto tuning from Octopus direct. If we want to do just all of them, let's say we have a whole setup with many oscillators, we don't want to go now one by one, we just want to do all of them at once. We go and click on auto tune, short click another one, it says tune now, and it starts sending auto tune message to all of them, and you can see all the oscillators are now tuning themselves. Now, there's nothing to be shy about doing auto tuning, because tuning can change from time to time, especially if you are moving the case. Let's say you go on a live show and you're in some area with different temperature and different environment than your current studio. So it's totally fine to go and hit auto tune from time to time. And every time you're doing it, the oscillators also learn the difference of that position. One thing that is important, if you are moving the oscillator even within the same case to a different position, or if you even change the environment around with different modules, you might gonna need to do auto tuning, and in worst cases, again, do initial tuning. None of them is destructive, and all of them are very welcome, however you feel. If auto tuning takes long time, let's say more than a minute or 2 minutes, then that means that the oscillator is sitting with an internal set of tuning tables that are completely wrong than what it was initially tuned for. So then again, go and do an initial tuning, and then auto tune will be much faster. One more thing to mention, digital oscillators in general don't need tuning. because they have an internal reference clock that sets their tuning. So even if there is a cable connected to them and they receive the message to tune via ART, they will just ignore it and stay where they are. Again, tuning is something that relates mostly to analog oscillators. And as there are going to be more and more analog style and type of oscillator in the ART system, we believe that the same method will apply